Okay, first of all, I want to talk about saving and investing. There's a number of financial mistakes that people make in their lives, and one of the most serious mistakes is that they don't understand saving and investing. Saving won't make you richer. Investing will. Now, let's take a look at this situation. For example, you're making $2,000 a month. You start working at age 25, and you decide to retire at age 65. So your working period is about 40 years. Assume that you won't have to spend your salary, your income, on anything, and this literally means you can save 100% of your income. So with the average income of $2,000 a month, if you keep working hard in 40 years and save all your money, you'll be able to make a maximum of $960,000. You would almost be a millionaire. But the fact is that saving 100% of your income is simply impossible. That's because you'll have to spend a lot on housing, food, apparel, transportation, your entertainment, your family's vacation, your children's education, healthcare services, Social Security, your insurance, charities, and a lot more. So with an average income of $2,000 a month, you will never be a millionaire. Okay, now let's take a look at another situation so you can see exactly how investing can help you get wealthy without any extra effort. Assume that your income is still $2,000 a month, but in this case, you decide to save a small percentage of your income, for example, $300 a month, to invest. Assume that you start investing at age 25 and continue to invest $300 a month until you retire at age 65. With an only 10% annual return from the stock market, you'll be able to turn your $300 investments into $1.6 million in 40 years. Let's compare that with the previous case where you have to work really hard and try to save all of your money in 40 years. As you can see, for the same number of years, and with small investments of only $300 a month, you can easily double your net worth, build a satisfying retirement, and retire wealthy with a millionaire status. So, how can we turn small investments of $300 a month into $1.6 million? We can actually do so thanks to the amazing power of compound interest. Compounding is the wonderful way in which you can earn money not only on the original amount of an investment, but on all of the money that original amount earns along the way. Money makes money, and compounding exponentially increases the amount of money your investment earns. How compound interest works is simple. Let's say you have an investment that gives you a return of 20% in interest every year. For example, you invest $100 in the stock market. So in the first year, your investment will grow from $100 to $120. This means you've made $20 in profit. Instead of taking out the $20 profit, you decide to keep investing it. So your investment is now worth $120. In the second year, your investment will continue to grow by 20%. This time, from $120 to $144. So you'll make a $24 profit in the second year of investing. The key to compounding lies in the fact that returns on an investment are reinvested as they're earned. This is what differentiates the compound return from the simple return. If you keep reinvesting your money, you'll make more and more profits every year. If you start saving and investing $300 a month today and grow your investments by an affordable return of 10% from the stock market, you can easily build a net worth of $1 million or more. If you start saving and investing $1,000 a month today, and if you do it the right way, I guarantee you, sooner or later, you'll be a millionaire. And if you're making a lot of money, maybe you're running a business or you're having a good job, just try to invest as much as you can. If you save and invest $5,000 a month with the same rate of return of only 10%, you can turn your investments into $17 million in 35 years. In fact, the more money you save to invest, the faster you'll achieve your financial goals. If you think that 35 years is too long, just think about it for a second. Everything takes time. And no matter what you're doing, you cannot achieve great results overnight. Period. Looking at Warren Buffett, the world's most successful investor, he once said, "I made my first investment at age 11. I was wasting my life up until then." Warren Buffett's been investing his money for over 75 years. It took him 75 years to become the richest investor in the world. You know, it's totally worth it. As you can see, making money takes time, investing takes time, and creating real wealth takes time. So forget about how long you'll invest your money for. Just put in the work and start investing as early as possible. Now you see the importance of investing in creating wealth. You just need to invest a small percentage of your income, and you can build a more satisfying retirement, create a better financial life, and have an abundance to care for your family and accomplish your dreams. Interesting, right? So how can we achieve a risk-free 10% annual return from the stock market? To be able to do so, you must first see the bigger picture of the stock market. As promised, I'm going to share with you my profitable investing experience that's helped me consistently profit from the stock market. I learned this secret the hard way by experiencing a lot of mistakes and failures. And now I'm sharing it with you because I don't want you to make the same mistakes as I did. And more importantly, I want you to succeed. Okay, now let's take a look at how the stock market's performed in the last 30 years. This is the 30-year history of the U.S. stock market. As you can see on the screen, over the last 30 years, from 1986 to 2016, the stock market's value has increased by over 1,000%. For example, if you had invested in the Dow Jones 30 years ago, your investment would grow by more than 1,300%. This is just a simple estimation. In fact, your annual return would have been a lot higher than 1,300%. That's because you would have earned a lot more thanks to the compound interest, and you'd also receive dividends from your investment. As you can see on the chart, the stock market's value went up and down over time. There were some years that the stock market's value went up, and there were some years that the market's value went down. But if you notice, over the long term, the stock market would always keep increasing in value. The profitable investing experience is that the stock market is very volatile in a short term, but in the long term, it will always keep going up in value. Still don't believe? Okay, now let's see the 5-year performance of the S&P 500 index. As you can see on the screen, the stock market was very volatile. Its value went up and down over time. And that simply means if you invest in the short term, you'll likely take more risks. When I first started, I only looked for short-term investments because I was not patient. I was clueless about what was going to happen. And that's why I failed and lost all of my hard-earned money. In fact, we have no idea about what's going on with the market. But if you notice, over the long term, the stock market will always keep increasing in value. If you had invested in the S&P 500 just 5 years ago, you would have been able to grow your money by nearly 90%. That would have been an easy 17.8% return every year, just to buy and hold your investment. Still not a believer? Now let's take a look at some random companies. For example, Amazon. As you can see on the screen, this company's stock is very volatile. The stock price went up and down over time, and the price fluctuation range is somewhere between $50 and $200 a share. That is to say, if you buy and sell this stock without a real strategy, chances are you'll potentially lose hundreds or thousands of dollars in just a few days or weeks. Actually, we don't know what will happen next with the stock market. But if you notice, over the long term, this stock will likely keep going up in value. If you'd invested in Amazon 5 years ago, invest for the long term, you would have grown your investment by more than 200%. You could have doubled your money in just 5 years and made $500 a share in profit. You see, by knowing a simple truth, you can make almost all of your investments become profitable. That's why people who know how to invest are always richer and wealthier than people who don't know how to invest. Now let's take a look at another example, Visa. This company's stock price also went up and down over time, but over the long term, it would always keep increasing in value. If you had invested in Visa 5 years ago, you could have easily made over 50% return every year from your investment. Okay, another example, Google. Similar to Amazon, this company's stock is also very volatile. The price fluctuation range is somewhere between $50 and $200 a share. It would be really risky if you invest in this stock for a short term. You may lose a lot of money when the price fluctuates. But if you invest for the long term, you can easily eliminate the risk and make your investment profitable. 5 years ago, you could buy Google stock at about $300 a share, and now its value has grown to more than $800 a share. And this simply means if you had invested in Google 5 years ago, you would have made over $500 a share easily and effortlessly. Okay, the next example, the Home Depot. Despite the fact that this company's stock price went up and down every day, its value would always keep increasing over the long term. If you had invested in this stock 5 years ago, you could have easily made over 53% return every year from your investment. The same for Facebook. Even though its stock price fluctuated wildly over time, this company would keep increasing in value over the long term. If you'd invested in Facebook, you could have tripled your money in just 5 years. Okay, another example, Nike. As you can see on the chart, this company's value has grown by 146% in the last 5 years. If you'd bought and held Nike 5 years ago, you would have made a more than 29% annualized return from your investment. Still not a believer yet? Now let's take a look at another example, Papa John's International. This is a value stock that I've recently purchased. As you can see on the screen, even though Papa John's is a great company, its stock is very volatile. The stock price went up and down over time, but if you notice, over the long term, the stock would always keep going up in value. If you'd invested in this company 5 years ago, you could have grown your investment by over 400%. And this simply means you could have multiplied your money by 4 in just 5 years, without trying too hard to beat the market. Okay, one more example. TXRH, or Texas Roadhouse. This is a good company that I've recently purchased, and many of my students also bought this stock and made some good profits. As you can see on the chart, even though the stock price went up and down over time, the stock's value would always keep increasing over the long term. If you'd invested in TXRH 5 years ago, you would have been able to make over 46% return a year on your investment. And this simply means that you could have doubled your money in just 5 years without taking high risks or trying too hard. So, what can we learn from this experience? Investing in the short term simply means you'll likely take higher risks. If you want to really make money with your short-term investments, you'll have to master a lot of technical trading skills. And you know, it's not easy at all. So if you have no experience in using technical analysis, you should avoid making short-term investments. Our profitable investing experience is that the stock market will always keep going up in value over the long term. So if you're looking for the easiest and most profitable way to make your money work for you, you may want to look for long-term investments. For example, you can invest in value stocks, ETFs, or some kinds of income stocks. If you have no idea about these types of investments, don't worry, because I've got you covered in the next video. The final key point to take away is that both stock markets and individual stocks share the same characteristics. So no matter if you invest in the whole stock market index or invest in a particular company, you can apply the same strategy to grow your money. Okay, one more useful tip. If you're new to investing, you can apply the 90-10 rule to get started. How this rule works is simple. You can invest 90% of your money in long-term investments to make sure that your money will be safe, and invest the remaining 10% in short-term investments to test the water. This way, it's much safer, because if you fail, you'll only lose a small amount of money. You'll have nothing to worry about but everything to gain. By applying the same strategy that I've shared, you can easily turn your small investments of just $300 a month into $1 million in 35 years. It's a lot of money for no extra effort. Just save some money and invest it. With an average return of 10%, you can easily turn your $300 investments into $1 million in 35 years. However, if you can double your return, say you can make a return of 20% per year for the same number of years and for the same amount of money invested, you can build a net worth of over $11 million. And that also means that you can easily multiply your net worth by 10 just by doubling your compound return to an affordable 20% a year. Investing is exciting, right? Once you have a real strategy, you can consistently multiply your money. And that's why knowing how to invest can change your life forever. It is very easy to make a 10% return a year. All you need is patience. You just need to have enough patience to wait for your money to grow. However, if you want to double your return to 20%, besides being patient, you'll need real education and a lot of hard work. When it comes to investing, honestly, you can't succeed overnight, and there will be no shortcut. To be successful as an investor, you must first invest in your education. You'll need to learn real strategies, put those strategies into practice, and start letting your money work hard for you. So now you know exactly what you need to do to grow your money and create a better financial life. Here's what we're going to cover in the next video. Make sure you keep an eye on your inbox because we'll have a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. In the next video, I'll teach you exactly how you can instantly build 4 streams of passive income. You'll learn how to build your own investment portfolio. I'll also teach you exactly how to use money to make money and give you my best investing tips and a lot more. Glad you enjoy it here, and I'll see you in the next video.